What's up, YouTube? Slender Revolution X here. Today I'm coming to you guys with my Neos deck version 2.0. As I said, I'd be giving you guys updates on this deck. It's been working out great so far. It's really nice to be able to play a deck you really love, and do it pretty competitively. So, without further ado, we'll dive into the deck. Please, guys, stick around. I'm probably going to be doing some other videos on the deck, basically like the whole diagnosis of cards and things like that, strategies, stuff like that. I really want to make this a big segment since it is my favorite thing in this game, my favorite card in this game, based around that, and trying to be competitive with it. So, like I said, without further ado, let's dive into the deck. Okay, guys, to start off the deck, we've got triple Elemental Hero Prisma. He's the basis of the deck. He lets you ditch Neos to the graveyard, things like that. So yeah, I think it's pretty essential to run 3. 3 Neospatian Air Hummingbird. Since Air Neos is your win condition in this deck, I think it's essential to have 3 of these. And I think it's better than a lot of the other Neospatian guys. So I decided to put 3 in there, and took out the Flare Scarab. Alright. Double Alias. This is new to this deck. I really wasn't too keen on Alias before, but as I played with the original deck, if you guys haven't seen it, take a look at it, and you will see the differences that I've done in it. But as I played with the original deck, I found out that grind games, if you couldn't get out the OTK early, were really terrible in this deck, and I think that Alias helps balance that out since he is a level 4 light beater. I mean, he puts a lot of damage in and allows for, you know, better Miracle Fusion plays, things like that. So I decided to add 2 of him in. My favorite card, the Double Neos. 1 is not enough, 3 is way too many. So I think it's solid to stick with 2 of them. 1 Elemental Hero Stratos. Kind of key in the OTK plays where the hero lives and things like that. But if you're running a hero deck, I think you absolutely need to run Stratos. He's a recruiter and an automatic, you know, +1. 1 Neospace Pathfinder. I do play the Neospace engine, or the Neospace variant of this deck. I don't like losing cards, and I like to be able to, you know, keep my big fusions on the field if I can. So Neospace helps with that, and that just recruits for that. And now onto my 3 one-of Neospatians. 1 Dark Panther, 1 Aqua Dolphin, and 1 Grand Mole. This card is really good. I like the ability to steal opponents' monsters' effects. It's not as, you know, seen these days as it was back in the day because Exceeds monsters have their own effects and you need to detach stuff. But I like the Neos version of him that negates effects. I love Aqua Dolphin. He's a warrior, so he's recruitable if you get those Convert Contacts in your hand. He's an out to having Neos in your hand, which is terrible in this deck. So I really like him all around. And he's an out. He makes Storm Neos, so that's good. And then, last but not least, Grand Mole. Grand Mole is essential in any Neos deck. Grand Mole is one of the few Neospatian cards that is actually really good in any other deck, too. He's just an all-around good card, so that does it for the monster count. Onto the magics. We have triple Miracle Contact. This card's your win condition. I like having 3 in there. I think it's essential because it allows you to do it from hand deck or hand field or graveyard. So, and it gets out your Neos fusions. Double Miracle Fusion, just more power cards in this deck. That's one thing that I do enjoy about this deck is there are a lot of power cards. And Miracle Fusion is just another way to do some big hurt on your opponent. Double Hero Lives. This card is essentially your OTK built into 1 card. You search for Prisma, search for Stratos. Depending on what you have in your graveyard, if you have either a Neos or a Hummingbird in your graveyard, you can go Stratos, search Prisma, special or normal summon Prisma. After that, Exceed. Go into a lot of big plays. But this is something I'm going to talk about on one of the, you know, diagnosing this deck parts, different video altogether. A double Convert Contact. I've been debating running 3. I want to find a way to put 3 in there because this card is so good. It's a Foolish Burial and a D-Draw all in one, which is amazing. And getting the Neospatians you need to your graveyard is key. So, I really like this card. Double Forbidden Lance. It's an OTK deck. I don't want to be caught with, you know, hung out there to dry when having an Air Neos on the field going into attack and getting, like, deprisoned or stuff like that. So I think that I really like having this card in here. Double Pot of Duality. This deck has some really, really terrible hands. So being able to dig through your deck for cards that you can play is really good, and being able to dig for those Miracle Contacts or Miracle Fusions to set up future plays. That's another reason I really like this card. The double Neospace, like I said, I run this version because I don't like losing cards on the field, and it gives you guys that 500 boost to any Neos or Neos Fusion. So that's a good card as well. On to my one-ofs. Dark Hole, pretty self-explanatory. Monster Reborn, self-explanatory as well. Rhoda, I think a lot of these are pretty self-explanatory. This is pretty good in OTK pushes or big play pushes. Recruits Heroes, and then one Super Poly. I kind of want to find a way to bump the Super Poly up to 2, just because this is a really, really good card against your opponent, and it's another out to having Neos in your hand, which is always bad. There's never any situation where you want to have Neos in your hand. You'd rather him be in the graveyard, and with this and Miracle Contact in your hand with a Neos, you can make that. I mean, that Miracle Contact odds are going to be alive, but with this, you're allowed to get another Omni Hero. So I really like this card. It's really good against a lot of decks. So I'm going to try to find a way to put 2 in there, but like I said, this is just version 2.0. And now on to my 4 traps. Double Breakthrough Skill. This is a new card in this deck, but it's something I really had put a lot of thought into. I think this card makes this deck decently competitive due to the fact that you can stop those Ophions and get over the Ophions. You can get by Dragossack, you can do things like that you wouldn't be able to a lot of times, and I think this card is a +1 due to the fact that it also has its own graveyard effect. So it's really nice to be able to use that. I'm really happy with how this has turned out. But yeah, so there's those, and then the Solemn Duo. On a deck that's based on losing life, I don't want to say losing life points, but your life points being low on your opponent, it is never a bad thing to have cards like these at your disposal. Like if you open up with either of these or both of these and a Miracle Contact, and just a couple other cards to get things going, you can really, really make a push. I mean, you figure if you get your life points to under 2,500, Air Neos is automatically going to be 8,000 or above. So if you set both of these and use both of these in one turn, then are able to make Air Neos, you make some big pushes. So there's that. That's it for the main deck. On to the extra deck. We'll start off with the Omni Heroes. Shining, Great Tornado, Gaia, Nova Master, and Ab-Zero. I haven't put Escurado in here because I think these are what I want to focus on. I would like to find room for Escurado, but as it is right now, I don't really have it. So if I find room, I'll get it out. But other than that, these are my Omni Heroes that I'm sticking with. Double Air Neos, your win condition, so it's always good to have 2. I know I said last one, if you get one out, you should win the game, but barring not being able to OTK that turn, it's always good to be able to have 2. 1 Storm Neos, it's an instant heavy storm, which is amazing. So that's good for OTK pushes. Grand Neos, he's probably, other than your Air Neos, probably your best OTK card, just because he bounces bounces a monster. Aqua Neos, I like Aqua Neos really because of the prevalence of hand traps in this game, and he gets rid of like Gores and Trag and stuff like that. 1 Dark Neos, he negates effects of face-up monster on the field. So, to me, that's another great effect, especially with, Dragossack running around and stuff like that. So that's it for my fusions, and now I'm going on to my Exceeds. These 3, we got Maestroke, Excalibur, and Blade Armor Ninja. Excalibur wins games by himself. Maestroke is probably the best generic rank for it, and Blade Armor Ninja takes out monsters to allow for OTK pushes. But that's the main and extra deck. I'm not going to go too much into the side deck because I'm still tweaking it, so I'll get that to you guys in another video or a future video. But I just wanted to get you an update on what's going on. So as always, guys, please like, comment, and subscribe. I like to hear from you guys, so please leave comments in the comment section below on what you guys think. I know that there's a very specific demographic that likes these decks, and it's cool to hear from the other people that are Neos advocates. So please, if you guys have anything to say, I'd love to hear from you. But other than that, subscribe to join the revolution today. And this is Slender Revolution X signing out. See you guys later.